This is Dormouse03, continuing my Max Payne 3 hardcore walkthrough, and this is Chapter 8. So when you start off here, you're just not in a good spot, and these guys run around to flank you really quickly, so I would recommend shoot dodging here, and I lay on my back, and they seem to have a hard time hitting me like this. I seem to have a hard time hitting them too, but it seemed to be an effective way of taking them out without getting punished too much. The rest of this beginning section here, I just kind of go, and there are a bunch of guys that are going to come up from the bottom of this hill. And I like to get over here behind this sort of large tomb right here and try to peek around and see, and most everyone will come around from your right and you'll be able to pick them off. Occasionally someone will come around to the left, like that guy right there, so you do want to make sure you're checking that flank, but most of the guys will come around on your right and you'll be in a good spot to be able to take them out. And this chapter can be tricky. There are several tricky locations, and for the most part I do play similarly to the way that I played in my old school run here, but there are some things that I did there that didn't work here, and just different things that I tried, so I will point those things out and comment as necessary. And right here, thank you, Tombstone. One more case of too much shit in the way for me to be able to shoot dodge the way that I want to. So, take that guy out. It's not difficult. And again, this I took very similarly to my old school playthrough. You definitely want to make sure to take out that guy who has the grenade launcher, because he will lay some pain on you. And then you just want to really tentatively take care of these guys, because they have the advantage on you as far as height and cover, because this little tombstone isn't super effective at covering you all that much, and they seem to be able to hit you from places where it feels like they probably shouldn't, but you just want to sort of try to peek around it. I had some problems just because he likes to hold his gun up instead of aim the thing where I'm wanting him to, so just be careful here. And after you clear out these guys, heading into that courtyard is also tricky, and so I like to try to use a couple of the shots of the grenade launcher to try to clean up some guys in there, and then head around to the right pretty carefully and pick guys off from there. So you'll see me do that. I did conserve some ammo from the grenade launcher this time, because I had the idea when I was doing my old school run that I mentioned in that guide, that I thought, when I got to that section with the guys in the cars, that it might be really effective in that spot, and it wasn't effective to a degree. The biggest drawback was I thought I was going to be able to take out a bunch of them at the beginning, and really I just didn't have enough time to switch, because it automatically, after that cutscene, brings you back to one of your one-handed weapons, and either your pistol or your machine gun, if you have that, or SMG, if you have one of those. And so in the time that it takes to switch to the grenade launcher, a lot of times they've already killed Passos, because you have to shoot at them to get their attention really quickly, and once you shoot at them and get their attention, you don't really have an opportunity to switch to the grenade launcher either until you can get into cover. So you'll see how I do with that, but it's something to try. I mean, it did help me take out a couple of dudes, so you'll see when we get there. But yeah, this part right here, just be pretty careful. Try not to, if you're going to use this grenade launcher, be careful with how you're aiming it right here, because it is really easy to get it to clip a corner or something of of that stairway, and so you don't want to be doing that because that will hurt. And so I'm going to take out as many guys as I can see from this position right here, because really the only way they can come at me is straight in front. And then I'm going to ease my way and move over to the right here, because I know no one's going to be over there. And then just try to take out dudes pretty carefully from there, and that is how I deal with this section right here. It's deceiving because there are more guys in this area than you think there are, because it looks like it's pretty empty right now, but it's just because there's so much cover, there are so many tombstones and trees and fences and just all kinds of crap that occludes your vision. So they sort of come out of the woodwork here. They're all in full-on hide mode, and I keep thinking that there's someone over there to the right, and there is no one there. It's like a shadow in my vision. And so just be careful here, because this is it's a tricky location for a fight, because just there is so much stuff, and they like to hide, and then they just all sort of pop out at places where you didn't expect them to be, and in times when it's probably inconvenient. So just be careful. So after this is all done, this is kind of a long video. I'm gonna play with the length of my videos here, because I can't upload things more than 15 minutes, and it starts to get a little unwieldy when I'm trying to do something and I just have to edit so many videos to put them out in parts, and so I'm trying out a little bit longer video format here, so we'll see how this goes. So hopefully my voice doesn't give out. But here's where I used the grenade launcher, and it was pretty darn effective in taking out those guys once I was able to use it. Now, the thing to know about that section right there is you want to make your way over, you want to start shooting them as quickly as possible so that they don't kill Passos, and then you want to move over to the car, either one of these cars, either the one on the left that I went to, or maybe the van on the right. Although it seems like it might be less effective cover, because it's a little bit farther up. And anyway, you want to make your way to cover and take out the rest of those guys, because you are very exposed there, and there's not very many places to be. So, in any case, that's what I did right there, and then the next little bit is not too bad if you take it slowly and just make sure that you're taking out guys. So just make sure you get this dude here at the beginning, and then there will be guys sort of on the left and right through the windows, and you want to be careful about moving up into that area past the doorway right here, because a lot of times you can't see them before you move in, and then you get clipped by them, and some of them have shotguns, and none of it is good news. So you want to try to kill as many of them from outside right here as possible. And that's really all there is to say about this section right here. So yeah, I've been playing around with my mic settings, trying to get some better audio here, and hopefully, I think that it's starting to sound a little better than the videos that I made when I first started out. So thanks to everyone who gave me some feedback on that. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any and all feedback that is constructive. Which is all that I've gotten, really. So I do appreciate that from you guys. That's awesome. I haven't, the first video guide that I ever made was the ones that I did for Mass Effect 3, and this is the second, or I guess technically the third, the second game, and this is the third guide. So, you know, I haven't really done anything like this before, and frankly, I didn't know if anybody would watch them. Because, you know, I enjoy talking about games. I enjoy thinking about things and having a dialogue with other people. And this is sort of me talking to myself, and presuming that anybody else may have any interest in hearing what I have to say. So it's nice to see that they are helpful to some people, and hopefully, you know, with feedback and comments and, you know, support, criticism, anything like that, to help this be better, more helpful, more interesting to anyone, that would be awesome, because I like games, I like talking about games, I like discussing strategy, I like, I don't know, likes and dislikes, whatever, and so I'm going to try out some different types of content, hopefully, in the near future. So, yeah, any opinions that anyone has on that, I'll probably be mentioning in the next few videos, because, I don't know, some people, I guess, watch this on a chapter-by-chapter basis, depending on what they might need help with, or be stuck on, or want to see gameplay for. So, if you're watching all of these, I'm sorry if it's maybe a little repetitive, but I will be soliciting some feedback. So, thanks to those who have commented, liked, disliked, critiqued, whatever, sent me messages, commented, or even just watched. I thank you very much, and I appreciate helping this be the best that it can be. So this spot can be weird. I tried to sort of get back here I was trying to take the people out across the way, but I just couldn't see them very well, and I was trying to look for the reticle to go red, but it never really did, so I decided to try to peek out around here and get these guys on the left, and this turned out to be a very effective spot of doing that. So, yep. And then after I clear up as many of the guys on the left here that I can see, I start to move over to the right, and tentatively take out guys here, because this area can be bad, quite frankly, because it's just, there's so many things, and it's such a sort of large area. People are very far away, but they have really accurate aim. So, you know, I can't see those guys across from me, but sometimes, you know, they'll shoot you. And you are getting shot from places where it's impossible for them to really know where you are if they aren't computers, which they are. So, you know, the long and short of this area is that it can be tricky, and this is a pretty effective spot of clearing out some of the enemies. And in my old school run, I went around to the left, and in this run, I went around to the right, and both seem to be pretty effective. So, just making sure that you are taking out as many guys from within a cover position, a covered position, a position of strength, of advantage, as you can. Alrighty, so I'm gonna talk a little bit, I think, about things that I want to cover in the future coming up. So E3, the big games expo, or entertainment, electronic entertainment, it's a video game conference, and is coming up next week. And I'm always pretty excited for that, because even though there are various other expositions and conferences and things like that that take place throughout the year. E3 is the biggest, and it's the one where I think most companies at least make some big announcements for things that they are working on, things that are coming out in the future. And so I'm excited about that. Obviously, last year Nintendo unveiled their new console, the Wii U, which doesn't particularly interest me from what I've seen of it. But, you know, I mean, it looks neat. The technology looks cool, but so far it hasn't really shown me anything that entices me to buy it, as the Wii did not. So, there you go. But I am interested to see what Sony and Microsoft have to say about the new consoles that they're working on, what the specs are going to be, what games they have planned for them, what their timeline is for coming out with those. So I'm really interested in that. I'm also really interested in seeing, hopefully, some big announcements from that of new games. I mean, there are a bunch of games coming out toward the end of this year that I'm pretty excited for, you know. Resident Evil 6, the new Bioshock, the new Assassin's Creed, the new Halo. Those are sort of the big ones. But I'm also pretty excited for the new Tomb Raider and the new Hitman. And I've been looking at this game called Dishonored, which is kind of, they call it a cyberpunk setting, and so that looks kind of nifty from what I've seen of it, although I admittedly haven't seen or read up a whole lot on that one. But I guess I'm more interested in things that hopefully will be announced that have not really been announced or covered much at all. We saw a trailer for this game called Overstrike at the last E3, and basically it's a 4-person co-op kind of tactical shooter thing. It was just a trailer, so you don't really get a great idea of what the actual gameplay will be like, but the trailer was great. I mean, it was funny, and it's by the guys, Insomniac, who made Resistance, the Resistance series, and the Ratchet and Clank series. So that is a pretty good pedigree. And the trailer looked really just awesome. So I haven't really heard much more about it. So I'm hoping to see some more about it next week. I guess I should maybe talk about what I'm doing right here, since this is a new area. So this sniper will kill you in one shot, and so you want to make sure you stay in cover. And so what you can do is try to peek around the corner of these pieces of cover that you go up against. I found that to be dicey because sometimes, you know, Max he'll hold his gun up and not want to fire until you back away a little bit from the piece of cover. And when you back away a little bit from the piece of cover, then sometimes the sniper will then be able to shoot you. So I decided to not do that and just do what I did before in my old school run that was effective for me, and that is just use this shotgun and blind fire with it. And then I had built up enough bullet time by the end here that I was like, forget this, he's too far away, and the blind fire with the shotgun is too inaccurate, so I'm just going to shoot him. And when you move up this last time, you want to make sure that you clean up the 2 guys that come out down the stairs as quickly as possible, because they will run around, flank you, and cause you a major headache, and then take out the sniper. So that is what I will do. Right, so I was talking about games that I'm looking forward to hopefully being announced or talked more about at E3. I want to hear more about the new Splinter Cell, which I believe has been confirmed as of right now. I can't say for sure whether it's been confirmed or whether it's just sort of speculation at this point, but I love the Splinter Cell series. Yes, even the old ones and the new game, Conviction, and I'm looking forward to see what their plans are for the next entry. I am hoping that Dead Space 3 will be confirmed. I like the Dead Space series, and they just had some news out about co-op mode, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. As long as it's not the main game that's co-op, I think that would be fine. If there are some co-op specific levels, I think that would be cool. I think at its core, what the main draw of Dead Space is for me is that it's it's a survival horror game, and the whole idea is that you're sort of alone out there in space, and you're having to use your resources against these pretty scary and menacing and powerful enemies. And part of the scariness factor for it is the fact that you are alone. And yes, you might have supporting characters that sort of talk to you throughout. Yes, you might have some moments where they help you out, but at its basic level, it's you, Isaac, or, I sort of put myself into that suit and don't necessarily get as invested in the character of Isaac Clarke as others might. But it's you sort of alone in space versus a bunch of big bad dudes. And I think it worked fairly well at being scary. So that being co-op, I feel like could change the feel of that. I didn't touch the multiplayer at all in Dead Space 2. I loved the hell out of Dead Space 2's campaign. And, I even did the hardcore thing with it, which was the mode where you only got 3 saves throughout the entire game, and turned out to not be quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, which is refreshing. But, yeah, I think the multiplayer was a failure for a number of reasons. And like I said, I just had no interest in it at all. And but co-op is something that I generally enjoy in games, and I enjoyed the co-op in Resident Evil 5, although I wouldn't necessarily call that a horror game, more of an action game with zombies, because it wasn't scary at all. So, but I still thought it was a good game, and I enjoyed co-op in it. And so, I don't know, we'll see. I'm interested to see more about it, and I think it's silly that they don't announce that they're working on games like that, because everyone knows that they are. So, it's kind of stupid, in my opinion, that they're like, we'll wait to announce this, but everybody knows that you're working on it. Don't be an idiot. So anyway, I'm interested in seeing more about that. Interested in learning more about GTA 5, of course, and Dragon Age 3, and hopefully whatever they're working on next for Mass Effect, because, the way they ended the third one was it was pretty heartbreaking, in my opinion. It feels like they did it a little bit of an injustice, especially depending on what it is that they have planned next. So, but I try to have faith in that team because I think that they are capable of doing such amazing work. And the majority of the Mass Effect trilogy was amazing work, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what they have planned next for that, and not multiplayer packs. Which, while the multiplayer is fun, I have enjoyed it. That's not why I bought Mass Effect. So I want to know more of that story. So in any case, looking forward to hopefully hearing what they have to say about that. And the new stuff from Bethesda, whether that's the new Elder Scrolls, aside from the Elder Scrolls Online, which I'm not particularly enthusiastic on, for reasons I don't have time to go into right now. But whether that is Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 4 or what. So this is the final part of this chapter, and you just want to make sure that you use whatever weapon you choose. I like this shotgun, but clear out all the guys that are running towards Passos first, because that is the real danger of failing this chapter, and then clear up anybody else, and you are done. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in chapter 9.